Okay guys, it's been a while making another review. I haven't been here in a little bit. I got a logical explanation for all that, but I'm not going to get into it right now because today is a video about the brand new 2018 Coosa HD. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoy this video. I'm going to try my best to explain it to you. I'm not really that good at explaining things. I try to make myself not sound smarter than I am. I said that in my last video, so I try and keep it dumb so at least I don't look like I'm trying to be smart. So yeah, I haven't actually got this kayak out on the water yet. I'm gonna do it sometime this week probably actually, and I don't know. So let's just dive right into this little bad boy right here. Of course, I'll start off with the main attraction to the 2018 Coosa HD, and that's the front hatch right here. Obviously, it's the biggest change to this kayak. As you see, you no longer have the bungee cords right here. They've added a paddle holder right there. All you do is you slide the paddle in like so, and then when you're standing up on the water and you need to make a quick cast, you can set your paddle in through this paddle holder, and you ain't got to worry about your paddle sliding and falling in and out of the boat. The front hatch is just like the Mayfly and the Coosa HD, so it's pretty similar. Only difference is the Mayfly and the Coosa HD have this little knob right here. Since it's only one on the Coosa, there's one right there and one right here and not one in the middle. That's the only difference between the front hatch on the Coosa HD and the Mayfly. That's the only difference between that. They replaced the bungee cords that come down right here, which holds the hatch closed. Now, I don't understand why they still have this little hook right there, which would hold the bungee cord in place, but that's another story for another time. In place of the bungee cords, they've added the easy open turnable knobs, which give you easy access and quick access to the front hatch right here. I keep my PFD in there. It's really the only thing I got in there so far. I'm sure I'll add other things like camping gear or whatever whenever I go in there. But yeah, front hatch. Also, to me, the other noticeable feature about this thing is I really don't like that. I cannot stand this. I don't really understand why they changed it. I mean, I guess I could see the upsides to it, but I don't really like the downsides. The downsides really weigh this kayak down for me. Anyway, the first thing you'll notice about this is that it's a lot bigger and bulkier than the last one. That, I'm guessing it's because they wanted to make sure that you could fit a bigger battery in there, and whatever you're powering through that battery on this Coosa HD would last a lot longer. It's pretty much the reason. That's what I'm guessing. I don't understand why. Other than that, that's the only positive thing I can think of when it comes to the 2018 Coosa HD middle console. Also, a change they made to the middle console is no longer being held down by a bungee cord. Instead, they have removed that and put a twist unlock, which is just an easy open access thing, just like that. You just close it, twist it back, voila. Middle console comes with a dry storage compartment. I really like this little feature of this kayak, mainly because sometimes I put my wallet and my keys and stuff like that in here, and it keeps it really nice and dry. Matter of fact, my hearing aid died one time while I was on the water, and it started raining. So I had no choice but to put it in here, and it kept it nice and dry the whole day. Here's the thing that really bugs me. If you look right here, there used to be screws there and there, which would allow you to unscrew the middle console and take it off. I like the idea of the middle console being able to be taken off, mainly because I was going to get a service dog next year to help guide me around at nighttime and stuff like that. But I'd take him out on my kayak with me, and that was going to be the perfect place for this dog to sit, was right here in the middle where the middle console would be, that you could take off. In theory, you could unscrew all this and that right there and take it off, but still, it just seems like a really big hassle. I mean, I don't understand why they did that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, like I said, this is really the only gripe I have with the 2018 Cruise HD. Other than that, I love this kayak. It's a great kayak. I mean, it's the same thing almost as the old one, which would be last year's model, but I think this middle console is just, can't do it. Another feature from the old one would be the slidable foot pedals, also on both sides. So I like it. It's got a good padding right here. Keep your feet all nice and comfy when you're sitting on the water for a long time, because sometimes I like to take my shoes off if I start getting all hot and sweaty. I like to air them out, even put my feet in the water. So I like to be able to be barefoot and have this comfortable padding right here. Rod stagers are right here. So if you're really trying to make a quick cast and you've got fish that are going all over the place and you want to keep changing up your presentation, that way they don't get used to it, you just lay your rods right here. That way they're not falling and sliding all over the place, and you can just get that quick cast and get that fish right out of that water. Got the gear tracks right there, right there, right there, back here, back there, and right there. Thing's loaded with gear tracks, so really, you ain't got to worry about not being able to put accessories on this thing. I don't really put anything on it right now, but that's just because I don't have a fish finder. I really want one, but I just haven't got around to getting one. I don't really want to spend the money on it because I don't necessarily need it. I usually can do just fine without it, but I don't know. That's just one thing that I could put on that. Just haven't decided to do it yet. Moving on down to the back hatch. Same thing as the front hatch, been completely redesigned. You can put whatever you want in there. I haven't really found any use for this thing yet. I haven't put anything in there. Like, not even one time have I stuck anything in the back hatch. Don't know why, I just haven't done it. I guess that's just a preference. Maybe one day I will. It's just whenever I find a purpose for it, I guess. Got the grippy handles on the side. Also over there, you can't see it, the paddle's in the way, but you understand what I'm talking about. One of the things I really like about this kayak, and also with the previous model, is these ergonomic handle grips right here. They're really nice and sturdy. And I've had a kayak in the past which had these little, it was almost made out of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Some sort of a strap with a rubber grip around it. And I did not like that. It always came undone and I had to screw it back on, and that's never any good. So ergonomic grips, that's the way to go. Just like the 2017 Coosa HD, 2018 also comes with the rod tip protectors, which is good if you want to slide your rod tip through this little hole right here. So if you're passing through some thick stuff like trees, branches, things like that, your rods don't get torn up, they don't break, and they stay in good shape. A neat little feature that comes with this kind of kayak is that if you're not used to standing up yet, it comes with a stand-up assist strap right here. Not necessarily a feature, but more of an accessory to help you kind of get your balance. Because when you first get in a stand-up kayak that you can actually stand in, you're going to feel a little bit unbalanced, and it takes a little bit getting used to. But once you get up there and you start getting that balance, you might not even need this anymore. Sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't. It actually depends on how I'm feeling when I'm getting up out of that chair. Just like the former Coosa HDs, it also has the padding right here, which is a really good for if you're going to stand up in here. It's got really nice padding for your feet. And you can stand up on it for as long as you want. It almost feels like carpet. It's pretty good stuff. Very weather resistant, which is a good thing if you're out on the sun all day. It's not going to get warped. It's not going to get messed up. You're not going to have to worry about it peeling off. And that's one of my favorite things about this padding right here, because I've had a kayak in the past where the padding came off from being weathered away by the sun, and that's never a good thing. Just like the previous model Coosa HD, they've left this little area right here flat, which is good if you want to install a power pole anchor right here. I don't have one. I really want one. I just ain't got one yet. I plan on getting one in the future, but that's for another day. It's really good if you want to hold it right here. When I'm carrying it with my friends, trying to take it to a spot, they like to hold the back part because it's actually really comfortable to hold. Also, just like the previous model of the Coosa HD, they have this little tracking system. That way you can install a drag chain right here. Some people like to use it in the river. I've also never done that either. But, you know, everyone has their preferences, and if that's what you want to do, you can do it. Hey, I might even do it one day. Of course, we have to talk about the Elite Seat 3.0, which is also featured on the previous model of the Coosa HD. One thing I like about it is that it comes with the tackle box protectors right here. So on both sides of this chair, I don't need to show you the other side, so just take my word for it. The Elite Seat 3.0 also comes with an inflatable thermarest lumbar support, which is good if you got back problems and you need to support your lower back. That's also a good feature to have right there to make sure you're comfortable on the water all day long. The chair can be lowered into 3 different low positions and raised to 2 different high positions. So I'll start right here and show you this one. You can move it a little farther up here. You can move it again up here. Or if you want to sit a little higher, you can move it up here, or you can sit back here. Positioning of the chair is actually pretty important. To me, it is. When I'm trying to paddle around for a little while, I'd like to make sure that my chair is farther back into the kayak. That way I can get a better trek when I'm going through the water. Now, if I'm just sitting there chilling and I'm just fishing and I'm not really paddling all that much, I'll move it up to the front. I don't necessarily sit in the low position hardly at all. I don't see any point for it. For me, it doesn't really make any sense for me to have it that way. But of course, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their different reason for why they do it. That's just my reasoning. Also got the slidable bungee cords, which is mounted on the gear track right here. You just move it back and forth right here. which is good because if you're sticking some sort of a cargo back here, say a tackle box or whatever you're sticking back here, you can move this back and forth to adjust whatever size of the object that you're putting there. And I find that pretty neat. Got the flush mount rod holders right here and right there. What I really like about these flush mount rod holders is if you can see real good, you can see that it goes out diagonally like that instead of straight up or out to the side facing outward. And that's really good, so that way I can get into tight spaces without my rod snagging into things, which can be very annoying. If you haven't been in that situation, you'll find out soon enough, trust me. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was as best as I could possibly explain it to you. I'm really, like I said, not good at explaining things. So I really hope you like the upgrades, downgrades. There's a little bit of both. There's things I like, things I don't like, but you know what? That's just what comes with the territory. All things have to change. So with that being said, really hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for my next fishing video, and fish until you die.